I always have a question for you, and this one is kind of funny for me,
Okay.
I think, because like it brings us like kind of back to like early days of Lizzie and Alex.
Okay.
What was your first impression of me? And for context for people who are maybe just starting to listen to this podcast, Alex and I met over Twitch. At the
Yeah.
time, I was streaming when I first had my first encounter with Alex. I was streaming and Alex came in as a viewer. Just so you guys kind of have like an idea of what this first impression would look like, would be Alex seeing me through like a screen.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Because I mean, we've never met each other in person yet, so
Yeah.
it still has not happened.
And
Someday.
we're doing almost a podcast. We're coming up on a year on a podcast and like 4 years of friendship and haven't met.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I see the way we met was we both started streaming within like the same couple of days, like January of 2021, I think. 20 January 2021. Yeah, because it was
close to COVID, because that was what made me finally be like, I could do this.
Yeah.
More time.
Yeah. And I think really what I did was I just scrolled to the bottom of the
I had no viewers.
yeah, you were just as irrelevant as me. That's why we're friends.
I'm crying. That's so funny. Just as irrelevant as me.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, this person seems fun. And then I like lurked for a bit and I was like, oh, like we would vibe. And then I just started chatting. And that's literally, this is what I did.
First impression. I'm putting that on our Instagram. First impression of Lizzy. She's just as irrelevant as me. And that is staying. That might be as good as Lousy. Oh my God. That's so good.
Yeah, that's.
But then, like, okay, like let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Like, as you kind of got to know me, like, how did your impression of me like change? Are you like, I mean, I got to stay around, so it must have been not too shabby.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed hanging out in your stream until you stopped streaming. I feel like. I feel like when I first met you, I was like, oh, this person seems like a very wholesome person like me. And then the more I got to know you, like, you just like, it was fun to fuck with you a little bit. Like just being able to like be in there and just like get you going, get you pissed off about whatever.
I feel like it was very, very similar for me for my first impression with you, because like, I remember at the time, it really was like, I had zero like viewers really. And what's really funny is like a little tidbit, and I will not name names, but at the time I had a person in my stream who I didn't know at the time, like looking back now, I think was trying to abuse like not like abuse, but I think like was trying to use smaller streamers to gain traction or like kind of like be like, oh, it's a girl, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at the time I didn't know it. So I was just excited there was somebody there all the time. And then Alex came in and I was excited to like have like a second friend and stuff. And then like later on, like, yeah, I had to push that person out because I realized how weird it was. But
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, you made the right call there.
Yeah.
I think.
And Alex was kind of like this. I remember like being like, oh, this is like a consistent person who's like coming to hang out. And I wish I could remember the time that I like went to your stream finally and like realized like you were also streaming.
Like, I don't think I ever like was just like, hey, come check out my stream. Like, I was first and foremost there because I was like, this is like a friend who's doing a similar thing on the internet, you know?
I think we bonded over Zelda pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That was like our first like, we have this in common, because at the time I was playing Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah.
Or Breath of the Wild like 2 also. Just to, this is not like last year. But yeah, and I remember I kind of very similarly being like, okay, this is a really cool person who enjoys a lot of the same things. Like, and I think I was just so enamored that I had somebody that like was coming to hang out. Like, so I was like, okay, you like, I'm gonna reciprocate like the attention that's given kind of thing. And then this kind of like fostered like this like really beautiful friendship later on.
Yeah.
And same thing, like I remember like making you like a mod, and like then everybody be like, your mods bully you, and like it became like this like back and forth of like who can zing each other more kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then here we are with a podcast.
Yeah, and I still bully you. It's great.
Yeah. I think I've gotten less good about bullying you. I gotta step my game up. This whole episode, guys, is gonna be about what we're gonna call famous firsts. So you're gonna hear a lot about Alex and I's like first games, first this, first that. So we have like all kinds of different like firsts we're gonna talk about. But first, we want to catch up because our last episode that was posted was pre-recorded because when it came out, I was gone for my birthday, and so I haven't actually sat down and talked to Alex in like 3 weeks, which is really weird because we talk every other week.
Yeah, I feel like I briefly popped into Discord once. I don't know if you were there. Were you there?
You were there the other night, and you had just started Oblivion.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. But,
and you were there for like 5-10 minutes, maybe. You started like the character creation, and then you're like, "I'm going to bed. Bye."
That is very me. I go for half an hour. I'm like, all right. I've seen people. I've said hello.
I've made my presence known.
Well, it was I mean, anyway, that's a whole thing. That's just me being socially awkward and anxious. So yeah, what have you been playing? What have you been watching? Tell me about. First, tell me about Vegas. First, tell me about your trip to Vegas.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my birthday was a few weeks ago. I got to go to Vegas. I am a big Vegas goer. I love Vegas. I don't even gamble that much, but me and my husband went like a few years ago. I did not think I was going to like it, and I loved it. I loved it so much more than I ever thought I was going to. And so for my 30th, I was like, and that's the big thing, is I was turning 30. I was like, I really want to go back to Vegas. And we went, and we had such a good time. For anybody who is interested in Vegas going, I highly suggest the Cosmo. They have balconies. That's where we stayed. It was like on this balcony. It was a room with like a balcony that you could see like everything.
Oh, cool.
Got to have like some really good dinners. We went to Top Golf in Vegas, which was really cool because we have one by me.
I want to go to Top Golf so bad. That's like one of my bucket list things that I haven't done.
If you ever come to me, we have one close by in my city, and we will go because it is so much fun. That's also another hobby I might be picking up soon. I don't know.
Are you going to start golfing? Like,
yeah, possibly. My husband really wants me to like start. I enjoy it, and I didn't realize how much I enjoy it until the more and more we go to like Top Golf, and I was like, I like this. I want to improve. Like, I have my husband will say like, I have a pretty good swing. He's like, if you put in the time, he's like, I think you could actually like be decent. And so that's like, I get excited about like learning how to do it and everything. He's like, so I think like maybe you should think about like making this like a general hobby. He's like, because then it's something we can also like do together.
Right.
And I was like, that would be fun. But yeah, the Top Golf in Vegas is really cool because you can see like the entire strip, and it's really pretty.
Oh, fun.
Did a lot of good like dinner things. Really quick funny story. We were sitting at dinner one night in like a hall, and this lady comes by, and she's like, hey, we're with blah blah blah. It was like a convention that was there. She's like, we have extra tickets. Are y'all going to see Carrie tonight? And me and my husband, like, we already had like reservations to go to this bar that I was really excited about. I didn't know who she was talking about, and I was like, no. She's like, okay, would you guys want like 2 free tickets? And I was like, oh, thanks, like, but we have reservations. Appreciate it though. So she like walks away. My husband goes to like get our food, and so I start Googling, and I was like, Carrie at Resort World, and it was freaking Carrie Underwood.
Oh my god. Did you go?
No, we sat there and we're like, as much as it would have been fun, it's not something that like I would have rather somebody else had those tickets.
Right.
Though. That probably like we saw them give tickets to these girls who were stoked about it. So it's like I'm glad they got that because like I would have went just to gone, but to be real, I was more excited about the bar because it was like up on the top of like this building where you can see all the lights and everything. And so that's what I wanted to do anyway. So I was like, it's okay. But just finding out that it was Carrie Underwood made us both kind of chuckle.
That's wild.
But yeah, Vegas was a lot of fun. I got to so I don't gamble when we go to Vegas. Like I know how to play blackjack. I just choose not to because I'll sit down with to be like real, like $100, and it will be gone in 20 minutes. And I'm like, I can't keep up that kind of like thing. Like I'm not good enough at blackjack to make like $100 last a few hours like my husband can.
Sure.
So I choose not to unless I really want to. But so instead I said, you know what I'm going to do with my money is I found a collectibles place in Vegas that we went to so I could go get Pokemon cards instead. I was like, I'm going to gamble Pokemon cards.
I respect it. I respect it.
And so talking about firsts, I bought my first ever graded Pokemon card, which was really exciting. And I'll show, hold on one second. Let me grab it because it's up here right now. So this is my first ever graded Pokemon card. And he's beautiful. He's
beautiful Charizard. Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames, like the gold one.
I think so. I'm pretty sure he's from Obsidian Flames. Yeah. So that was really exciting, and I wasn't gonna buy it, but my husband was like, "I really think you should." Like, I'm a big fan of Charmander, and I don't really care for Charmeleon. I think he's a little lizard boy, and I love Charizard.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a notorious thing with Pokemon, right? It's like the middle evolution is kind of the unwanted, I feel like he's redheaded child.
Yeah, bad middle child or whatever. So first ever graded Pokemon was really exciting. I cannot show you this guy, okay? For everybody who's wondering, I have a piece of cardboard with rubber bands taped around it at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
Because then what happens is I buy this one. I buy 6 packs of Obsidian Flame because I'm looking for a very cute Cleffa. I get back to my hotel room in Vegas, and I pulled the freaking other Charizard that's in Obsidian Flame. He's very, very beautiful, but he's going to get graded. So this
like, have you so it
ever.
hasn't come back yet?
No, we are literally, it's in here. This is what you send it in.
Okay, and are you just sending the one card?
Just one. Yep.
Okay. And how much did you pay? Or is it one of those things where it's like based off the grade?
No. We don't want to talk about how much I'm paying.
Oh, no.
It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Baseline right now, they just recently upped the prices and the turnaround time to stop getting people to just send in shit cards.
Yeah.
But this card, if it comes back as a PSA 10, is like a $500 card.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to come back as a 10. We'll see. So you guys stay tuned because I'm praying that it does, but I'm a little worried.
See, I'm actually in a similar boat to you where I might be sending a comic book in to get graded.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show you.
What is a comic book like when it gets does it increase in value? I would assume so. That's why you get it graded. But what does it come back as? Like, what did you pay versus what is your return potentially?
So I paid $5 for this comic book. It's an alternate cover for Superman that has like this really, really great.
God, she's cute.
Art of Supergirl on it. And it comes back in like a big, they call it a slab. It looks a lot like your PSA Charizard, but it's around a whole ass comic book. And it's graded out of 10, but I don't think comic book grading ever goes up to 10. Like, I feel like it's always like 9.8 is like the grade to get. And this covers for like a relatively new book that came out in April. It's because this summer for the Superman movie, they're doing like the Summer of Superman, and this was like a Summer of Superman special. And it's already like it sold out immediately everywhere online. And I just happened to walk into a comic book store on the day that the book came out. I was like, oh, I want that. And I just picked it up. And now I see online everyone's going crazy over it. So I was like, well, maybe I'll get it graded. Just like see what happens. So I think it'd be cool to have like a graded comic, but I'm not sure yet.
So if it goes through PSA, like I said, yeah, they just recently upped their prices. It kind of depends. I think like I'm pretty sure right now base is like $25. That's to like get it there. But the turnaround time is like you're talking like potentially a few months.
Okay.
So if you don't care to wait, that's okay. My husband and I have a problem of like we need things done right now. So we did pay a little bit extra for it to come back quicker.
Okay.
And we went ahead and paid for like it to be shipped back. There's like a lot of like hidden details with PSA. I don't know if you can take it to GameStop. I don't know if they take comics, but they'll grade PSA through GameStop. Like you can bring it and they'll send it.
Yeah.
I know that theirs is a little bit cheaper if you wanted to look into.
I think the GameStop is just the cards, and it's just specific cards. Like there's even like certain stuff, like I think like signatures and stuff they won't do. Yeah.
So yeah, some of those first. Really quick, I'll try to rattle off. We finished The Pit, which is on HBO. It's a medical show. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. So good. We loved it. It's a spinoff from ER, which is funny because I used to watch ER with my mom. And then we just started Righteous Gemstones.
Right.
Pretty funny. Only something I can sit and watch like 1 or 2 episodes at a time because it's just a bit raunchy and it's just a lot, but it's good.
Yeah.
And I just finished, as far as game goes, Blueprints. 10 out of 10. Freaking banger of a freaking game. It is a escape-ish kind of like game mixed with like a roguelike game.
You're like building the map for like a haunted house escape room type thing, right?
Sort of. So basically, the long story to kind of like quickly, it's grandpa, I think it is, left you this like estate. You're trying to find this like extra room. You get like every day you walk in, you have 3 doors, and there's it's like a, I don't know, 10 by 6 or 7 like grid that once you go through a door, you're drafted 3 rooms, and you're trying to, there's like a million different things you can do, but realistically, like the end game is like getting up to the room, finding whatever grandpa left you, blah, blah, blah. But there's so many other puzzles in this game, and the story is really cute and beautiful. The art is very cute. Every single one of my buddies in my Discord call that I hang out with we're all playing, basically.
Wow. And did you beat it?
So good. As of last night.
Wow. And did Grandpa leave you a note that says, you can have my farm in Pelican Town, and then it just launches Stardew Valley for you? Is that...
You know how crazy that would be? That's the alter side of it. No, it really is. It was really, really good. It was one that I had heard about like the week before it came out. It's free on Game Pass if anybody's listening and they want to play.
Sure.
Really, 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 really good. Not your typical like escape room kind of thing, but it has some similar things, but it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now that I've spent 20 minutes catching up on my side of life, I would love to hear about yours.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we could have spent an hour just talking about the PSA Pokemon card.
I know. I'm trying so hard to like rattle things to be quick so we can get to the topic. We got so much to catch up on.
Yeah. So I also went on a trip. We went to New York. I think is this the second time? No, we started the podcast after I went to New York for last time. I love New York City. I'm a big theater nerd. It's basically Disneyland for theater kids. We did like 20 kilometers of walking every day. Went to MoMA, saw a bunch of cool modern art. We went to 3 shows. So like when we always fly in and out of Newark, and then we take the train in to Penn Station, and then we just like walk around, and we were like staying pretty close to Times Square on 42nd Street, and we walked right from the train station to the TKTS booth to get a ticket for the night, because it's like the booth where you get the discount tickets. Went to Book of Mormon the first night. It was a lot of fun. I've obviously listened to the music for Book of Mormon, but I've never seen it live. And you know what? It was a lot of fun. It was funny. It's a little edgy. Some jokes don't age super well, but I had a great time. And then the next night, so as you might know, I'm a big Lawrence fan, and Gracie Lawrence is on Broadway right now in a show called Just in Time. It's really the Jonathan Groff show, but it's a bio musical about Bobby Darin. And Jonathan Groff plays himself playing Bobby Darin. Like literally they start the show being like, introducing Jonathan Groff, and he comes up and he talks to the audience as Jonathan Groff, and then he like snaps into character in it.
Okay.
And it was like all like Bobby Darin sort of like music, and he had a very like eclectic sort of journey musically. Like he started out in like rock and roll, and then did like big band jazz standards, kind of like a Frank Sinatra, and then did a folk album, and then died tragically very young of a heart condition. And that show blew me away. I was like, I don't like jukebox musicals. I'm not a huge Bobby Darin fan. I'm not a huge fan of like biopics and biography stories. So I was like, this just doesn't seem great for me. But I was like, I got to go for Gracie Lawrence. Ended up having a hoot. It was a great time. It was a really fun stage show. What Jonathan Groff is doing was incredible. And then the final night we were there, we went to go see Nick Jonas in The Last 5 Years.
Hell yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh, no.
It was... as a theater director, I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
It was the worst direction I've ever seen in a professional show. Like the last 5 years is like just it's 90 minutes of music that's just designed to break your heart. It's a they take a relationship and it's like a series of songs alternating between the wife and the husband. The husband starts immediately after their first date. She starts at the moment that she opens and reads a letter of him leaving her for another woman. And he goes forward through time and she goes backwards through time. And the only time they meet is the middle song of the show, which is their wedding. Mm-hmm. And basically every decision that the director made, I was like, oh, how do we make this not sad? And like Nick Jonas just couldn't sing the part, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And there's just all like the staging was really dull and boring and confusing. And they added in weird like interactions between them in songs. I was like, this doesn't make sense. No longer, it no longer is like a clear thing. I didn't know you could fuck up the last 5 years. I've seen it 4 times, and this was its Broadway debut, and they couldn't do it. Oof. I was like, what are you doing? Oof. Anyway, but I had a great time. I'm really glad we went. Jess and I love going to like a city with my wife and just like exploring around. Yeah. As far as like gaming goes, the day before I left for New York, so, you know, while I'm frantically trying to pack and I also injured myself and just all this crazy stuff trying to get out the door, Bethesda just shadow drops Oblivion.
Literally.
And Oblivion, speaking of firsts, was like the first game that got me sort of into consoles that were not Nintendo. Mm-hmm. It was like my first game on the Xbox 360. I love Oblivion. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Uh-huh. And this remake, I've only played about 2 hours of it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. They get it.
Because this is the prequel.
So Skyrim is number 5 in the Elder Scrolls, and this is number 4.
Okay.
So there was also Morrowind, Daggerfall, and Arena. Okay. And Daggerfall and Arena, I don't recommend you play. Morrowind is probably a little dated, but Oblivion, especially this remaster, you should play. Yeah. And Kelly's been playing it, and she's also been loving it.
Okay.
I've been chatting with her about
now
it.
that I'm done with Blueprints, I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because it's kind of been taking over. This is just what I do when I get stuck on one game. That's all I do. Yeah. And so maybe I'll consider that one then.
Absolutely. You should. And then as far as TV goes, I've been on a Netflix reality TV grind a little bit.
Yeah. I saw your message about
Temptation Island?
Yeah.
Do you know what do you know about this show, Lizzy?
Nothing, honestly.
Okay.
I don't think I know anything.
Okay.
Maybe I've seen some TikToks about it.
If you are a fan of like, you know, the blood sports of shitty reality TV,
I love
like the drama
TV.
Okay. So here's the premise. You got a bunch of couples, right? You got four couples, I think. Yeah, 4. Yeah. And they are at a point in their relationship where they're like, either they're thinking about maybe committing and getting engaged, but there's some sort of trust issue there where either there was infidelity in the past or they were like dating multiple people before they committed and they're like, I don't know if I can trust this person 100%. So then they go onto a tropical island, right? And they put the 4 guys in one house and the 4 girls in the other house. And in those houses are a bunch of just absolutely gorgeous, horny single people that are just trying to break up the couples. And then because they can't go and talk to each other. Uh-huh. But what they do have is every couple of nights, Mark S. Wahlberg, not Mark Wahlberg from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. This is like a serial killer mindset. Mark Wahlberg, that's his name. He shows them an out of context clip of the other person doing something absolutely horrible.
I do remember on TikTok because I think this
was a show on another. This is their first season on Netflix, but they were on another
Yes, but
yeah.
so I remember vividly watching. There was so many TikToks at the time. Like it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't the U.S. based one. I think.
Oh, it was the Spanish one where he runs to the villa.
Yes,
And he's like,
yes,
no!
yes. And I had no idea what they were saying. So fucking committed.
Yeah, I really think if you like, because I know you complained about Love Is Blind kind of being a little mid this last season.
This season's shit.
If you want the drama and if you want to see people absolutely just behaving poorly, this is it. Temptation Island. It's the best reality TV show.
Me and my husband really love trashy TV, to be honest. So I'll have to put that one on our list.
Now, I say that's the best reality TV show, and immediately I'm gonna denounce that because Love on the Spectrum season 3 came out.
I have it downloaded for season 1 because I was going to start it on the plane and I haven't started it yet. And I really do want to watch that because I love watching the TikToks of that too.
You need to watch it because like season 3, I think has a lot of payoff if you've been following these folks for 3 seasons. Mm-hmm. But I cried tears of joy multiple times during season 3. I've been following
Abby on TikTok before this started forever. I love her.
My boy Connor had a big season 3. I'm very happy for Connor.
I'll have to watch. I'll have to watch. You know what else we're going to have to talk about? And it cannot be a conversation right now because we are already running into half an hour. We haven't even started the topic. And I have a lot to say. I have a funny feeling we might have a very different point of view about The Last of Us season 2.
Do you hate it?
I hate it.
Why'd you hate it?
I can't talk about it right now. We need to wait because I have this is like a long conversation.
We'll do
how I feel about this season so far,
and
not just because of what just happened. And I think that's also why we need to wait a little bit, just because this is still pretty fresh. But I have a lot of feelings about this season. So that will have to be a whole nother conversation for another time when I have more time to delve into all of my problems with The Last of Us.
one final tiny little catch-up thing.
Please.
While I was in New York, so we were supposed to in Canada get our Switch pre-orders like shortly after recording. And then I think 2 hours after we were done recording our episode or whatever, maybe a couple days, GameStop said, oh, we're going to delay the Switch orders in the US. And then because they got delayed in the US, the Canadian GameStop also delayed it. And then the pre-orders happened while I was in New York. Mm-hmm. So I had to get my father-in-law, who lives 4 hours away from me, to go to the mall in his town and pre-order a Nintendo Switch 2 for me.
You gotta do what you did. Sorry, go ahead.
Now I'm gonna have to drive 4 hours to go
get it.
To go get it. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, at least you got one though. I did not realize what day it was. I slept through all of that. I tried to get it the next day when there was a few they were oh, Walmart stock keeps popping in and out.
Yeah.
I tried. Not a shot in hell. So we'll see what happens.
Did you sign up for the Nintendo one where
I've heard that I don't know what they're looking for, but I've heard they have a very set weird set of requirements.
It's 100 hours of gameplay and you've
I got that in Breath of the Wild, so
and have you been a Nintendo Switch Online member for at least a year at some point in your life?
Actually, I think so.
Then you're fine.
But don't they send you an email telling you?
Yeah, but they're not emailing until May.
Oh, okay. So I might be good on that because I've had my Nintendo Switch Online for 3 years now, I think, because I keep getting billed for it and keep going, damn it, I need to cancel this. I don't use it. That's how I know that I've been a member.
Yeah. Right.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah.
I'm super glad to be back. I was very stoked to come and chat.
Me too.
So I'm excited about this one too. This one, I don't know where this came from, but I thought it would be fun to just do a bunch of firsts. So we got down our impressions of each other. So I wanted to kind of keep the idea of early life.
Sure.
But so what was let's go back to what was your first game that you ever played? And this is going to be a repeat for some people, and that's okay. And then hopefully anybody who's just joining maybe for the first time, you'll get to hear some things for the first time. First game that you ever remember playing?
I think the first game I remember playing was Mario 64.
Maybe I did know that. I don't know why I thought it was something else.
because I know my brother had a Super Nintendo that had like Donkey Kong Country, and I broke it as
right.
as a toddler. But the first game I like remember actually playing was Mario 64 in like my parents' basement, and my first memory of gaming is like, I think it was around the time we were moving houses, and I remember like being there playing the N64, and it was fun. What about you?
You know, what's funny is like, so I talk about this a lot, and for those of you who don't know, so the first game, like, I watched my mom play a lot of Ocarina of Time, but I'll be honest, I don't think that was my first game.
Okay.
I think my first game that I ever played was 1080 on the Nintendo 64.
Oh,
the
like the snowboarding game? Hell yeah.
Because I think I've talked about this before, that like I remember my siblings playing a lot and them being like, no, you can't play, you're too young. And I think I finally like fought my way into being allowed to play.
Oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure that's the first game that I actually ever played was 1080. And I still have it, and it's still a game that I would love to sit down and mess around with, because like the screen music for like the title screen, it gets stuck in my head still to this day. I hear it.
Isn't it on Nintendo Switch Online?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure
you've been paying for it. You can use it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I don't have a Nintendo 64, but I have a bunch of Nintendo 64 game cartridges above me, and I'm pretty sure it's in that pile of things that I have.
Cool.
So one day when I finally purchase the Nintendo 64, I'll also pull that old one out.
Sure.
But then going in, let's fast forward a little bit into life. What was the first game that you bought with your own money? And we can kind of break this up, because I'm curious about the first game and the first console.
Okay, because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Well, and for me, it's kind of funny. So the first game I remember buying was actually Ocarina of Time.
Really?
So my brother and I, we like, when the N64 was like new, we had rented Ocarina of Time a bunch, but we didn't actually own it. And then I remember vividly, there was a day where I had like $20, and there was a used game store down the street, and we walked there, and we wanted to get Ocarina of Time for our N64. And I remember we walked over, and like my brother took me there. We bought it, and we went back. And growing up, I spent most weekends, at least one evening, I'd spend like a sleepover at my grandparents' house. I think partially just to give my parents the ability to have a date night, just because there's three of us, so we were a lot to handle. And I remember my brother and I played all the way through Ocarina of Time that night, like trading off, like one of us would sleep and the other would play. And I have this vivid memory of waking up at like 2 a.m. in the fire temple. My brother's there, and like we switch it off. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So y'all would play like the same file? Like it was the same save? You guys would just like
we played the whole way through it together. Like, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's wild.
How about you? I guess the first console, we'll get to that. What was your first game?
So I was Googling just now, because like as I sat here, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm 100% sure. So I'm between two games. I think it could have been. So The Sims. Was this? Yeah, it was this one. That's funny. So The Sims 2 had a game on the Nintendo DS.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember if I bought that one or if it was bought for me. I think that's my biggest thing, is like trying to remember, like, really, like, was this gifted to me or was this a game?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure it was that one.
Okay.
And it was so funny, because you want to know why I remember this game so much?
Why?
So you had it on the DS, okay? And it was kind of one of those, like, I remember there was certain things that you had to do at like a certain time of day. So I thought I was clever going into my Nintendo DS and just changing the time. But the problem was if you changed the time, the game picked up on it, and they would send an alien invasion.
Oh no.
And it would be like, how dare you try to trick us, blah, blah, blah. And aliens would come down.
You got Mr. Rossetti'd.
What's Mr. Rossetti?
What's Mr. Rossetti? Animal Crossing? The mole who yells at you if you like...
Oh, no.
you forget to save?
No.
Okay.
Oh man. But yeah, I remember it's either that one, and the other one that I was thinking of is potentially a Sims. It would have been like a Sims 3, like one of the expansion packs
Right.
way back then, because like I had all of them.
Mhm.
And I feel like that might have been a time where I like was like begging my mom to let me like do anything to earn my own money to then go buy like my own games.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure it might have been the DS one, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest with myself. Those
Hell
fucking
yeah.
aliens, man.
So, my first console that I bought was the 3DS.
Really?
Yes. And why this matches up thematically is because I bought the 3DS, and then the launch, and it was the launch day. I've bought I bought every Nintendo console on launch since.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I bought it along with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that was the launch title. And I
Uh-huh.
was so excited to play Ocarina of Time
Oh,
for
yeah.
the millionth time.
Just on a different system, as if it was going to be any different.
Yeah, but it was in real 3D because you could do the slider, and then it would
True.
have the optical illusion. Yeah, and I've played so much of that, and I ended up obviously upgrading when the new 3DS XL came out and stuff. But yeah, I remember I worked a summer job that summer, doing like changing of the guard. Like, you know, those people that like stand really still in the tall hats and the red suits. I did that for a few summers. Not in like the nation's capital, but in my city we have that.
Shut up. Do you have a picture of you in this?
Yeah. Not handy, but I'll send you one. Yeah.
Please. I would love to see this.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I think Jess has one because like the last summer I did it was the first summer Jess and I were dating. And I think she came up and visited me. Oh, it was the second summer we were dating. Yeah. I can't remember. Anyway, one of the summers she and I were dating, I was doing this because I like did it some summers and not other summers, depending on what other work I could get, because it was a miserable job. But yeah, I have a photo of like Jess and I was there. I don't know if I had my fur hat on. I think I had my helmet on, but yeah.
I want to see that. That's incredible. I had no idea. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I used that money, my first summer changing the guard, to buy 3DS and Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D on the day it came out. And I was so pumped.
I wish mine was that cool.
What was yours?
Pretty sure.
Oh no, what was
You're
it,
gonna
a Switch?
yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure it's the Switch, because like as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, a lot of these, like it was just like I'd wait until Christmas and I'd just ask for them. So like
Sure.
when the GameCube came out, I was way too young to be like buying it by myself. So it definitely was gifted. The Wii, again, like I was a little too young to be like earning money myself, like having a job. And then by the time that I did, like I remember one of the last Christmases, like big Christmases that I like had with my parents, where I was like, okay, not that I was a believer anymore, but I just knew that like I was like 17, and I was like, it's getting to the point where my parents are gonna like start really dwindling, and I think I knew that. And I asked my mom for a 3DS, and I was like,
Right.
listen, I really want it. My mom got me the Zelda one. It's all gold. I have it above me.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So like a lot of like the big ones I got as Christmas presents, I would just wait until Christmas and just ask for them then. So when the Switch came out, that was probably the first time that I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this with like my own money, because I was so excited that there was a Zelda game, because we hadn't had one in a while. And similar to you, of like, I was just trying to find money wherever, because at the time I was in college. Very broke college student at the time, mind you.
Yep.
Daniel and I had just moved into our first apartment, just the two of us. I was working at like I'm pretty sure at the time I might have been working at Hollister, because it was like I just needed a job kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, it was a horrible job too. I hated it
Oh
so much.
no.
I think it lasted all of like 3 months before I finally found something else. So yeah, I was like in college. Dan was in college. I think he was like working at like the gym. So like we were really broke.
We've all been there, yeah.
But I was in school at the time to become a teacher. So in the state, what I could do was like if I took certain classes, I would get these like accreditations for them, and they would send me like these like little like papers saying like, oh, you got credited for blah blah blah. Well, certain ones you could send in, and they would send you money back to pay like college tuition, or like you could keep it as like to pay for stuff when you became a teacher. Well, I took all of mine, sent them all in, got my check back, and went and bought me a fucking Switch.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was the first time that I bought my own like console and the game. I remember I bought the console, the game, and I'm pretty sure I got the Pro Controller then too. And I was like, we're going to use up all this money.
Man, the Pro Controller is so good. I'm so glad that we can use the Pro Controller and Switch on the Switch 2 as well.
Oh, can we? Oh, that's nice. Because I was like, God, I'm never going to get my hands on the new one.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
At some point you might be able to, but definitely not at launch. So,
no.
With the Switch, I actually ended up selling a bunch of like games for it. Like I took it to a pawn shop, and I just had some like
but gamers doing whatever they can.
Game collectors would be shocked at what I put up to buy a Switch, and I have no regrets. Like Conker's Bad Fur Day, like the Zelda collection that was like the pre-order for Wind Waker gift, that had the four like a bunch of like pretty rare, hard to find, fairly expensive games, like my copy of Melee.
Do you remember what was the most expensive one that you got, like the priciest one that you got back?
I think Conker's Bad Fur Day.
What did it go for?
I think at the time it was like 160.
Holy shit. Wow. $200? That's crazy.
On eBay, how much let me just look. How much, because this is before they had the remake. So like the N64 Bad Fur Day on N64. How much does it go for on eBay right now? Yeah, it's like a $200 game. And I think I got like 160 credit for it.
That's wild. Holy shit.
But
this will be the first time that I probably will start like selling things of my life, and that being just like Pokemon cards. Like I will not sell any of the Charizards. That's going to probably be like my like thing that I'm gonna want to collect.
Sure.
But like I've pulled some other cards and I'm like, oh, this will be the first time that maybe I'll like go like try to do something similar where like I'm trading up basically. Yeah. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit away from gaming.
Sure.
Because I'm kind of curious about like this is gonna be like kind of like a set of like firsts, like a first movie, first book, play, concert, so that we can kind of like rattle these off a little bit quickly too. But what was the first movie that you remember going to see?
My first movie I remember going to see is The Phantom Menace. I got scared by the big fish and I had to leave.
Oh.
Do you remember the scene when they're leaving the Gungan town and their ship gets attacked by a big sea monster, and then there's a bigger one that comes and eats that sea monster, and then Qui-Gon goes, "There's always a bigger fish." Those monsters scared me. I was like, 3 or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
And I was too scared and I had to leave.
You want to know something? We've had this conversation before. When you said Phantom Menace, do you want to know what movie I thought of?
What?
Phantom of the Opera.
No.
And that's
the
why
only
I was
thing
like,
scary about the Phantom of the Opera movie is how bad Gerard Butler sings.
Yeah, and then and then it just clicked and I was like, oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know why every single time you say that I think of fucking Phantom of the Opera, but I do.
I don't know why. I'm not a fan of the Opera fan. I don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber. I really don't like that movie.
This is the same conversation that we had last time when I did
It's fine. We'll have it again.
Okay,
right, what was your first movie?
Oh my God. I'm almost embarrassed to say this because
what was it?
I probably was 10. Hold on. Let me see when this movie came out. Let me see when this. I got to be careful how I type this.
What movie?
2012. So in 2012 or 2002, it would have been 7.
7. Yeah.
Oh, what were my parents doing? I remember going to see Triple X with Vin Diesel.
Yeah?
in theaters.
Isn't that like an R-rated movie? Like, isn't there some nudity?
Exactly. Now I'm wondering what in the hell my parents were doing bringing me to go see Triple X.
They wanted to see Triple X.
Yeah, and I guess they were like, the only way that we're going is if we take her with us. So come on. Yeah. And I remember like I was a big, like I grew up on Fast and the Furious because I have older siblings.
Yeah.
And so like I knew Vin Diesel. I liked Vin Diesel. But
that's a whole other side of Vin Diesel.
yeah, yep. So that I'm like 99% sure that was my first movie going experience, which is is kind of crazy when you think about it. 7-year-old going to see Triple X. Yep.
Yeah, well, I think I'm pretty sure because I could like I feel like there like the Pokemon movie, the one that had the ancient Mew in it, was also around that time. But I think that was after Star Wars, and also the first Harry Potter movie I know I saw in theaters. But I think that was also after.
I didn't start going to see Harry Potter until I think the first one I saw was what's the one with the Triwizard Tournament?
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, I think Goblet of Fire was the first Harry Potter movie in theaters that I went to go see, because I remember I went with a friend and I was slightly scared shitless. I'll be so real.
Anyway, cool.
I'm curious about your first ever play, like on the same kind of like topic of like going and seeing like something in theater. What was your first play that you went to go see?
I went to go see a production of The Music Man. That was my.
How old were you?
6.
Yeah,
I think 6 or 7. Yeah, it was a like the local like Gilbert and Sullivan Society, like it was community theater. But I think my sister was in it because she was a dancer. So she was just like, you know, in the background, one of the kids in the marching band. I don't know if you know the story of The Music Man at all. Basically, a guy comes to town. He's like kind of a con artist. He convinces everyone in the town that he's going to basically save them from, you know, their kids losing their morals because they don't have a hobby. And he's going to teach them how to form a marching band. The only thing is he doesn't know how to play music, and basically what he does is he tries to get their money for like signing up and the uniforms and the instruments, and then he leaves. And he ends up falling in love with the local music teacher, and then the kids miraculously can play music even though they haven't learned how to play music. Anyway, and it's a 1950s musical, but yeah, that was my first play, and I have fond memories of it. I think it's a great musical, even though probably objectively it's not.
Let me backtrack real quick, because I want to make something very, very clear real quick while I'm thinking about this.
Sure.
We were just talking about Harry Potter. I just want to let everybody know that I don't think neither Alex nor I condone anything that J.K. Rowling is doing in this lifetime.
No,
she is
awful.
absolutely a piece of shit. I just want everybody to know that, like, while we talk about Harry Potter and like how we grew up with it and everything, and of that aside, she's a piece of trash.
Yeah.
Piece trash human, and I just want everybody to understand that, like, while we talk about this, we don't agree with anything that's going on. Just to put that out there. I don't want anybody to be confused about where Alex and I stand with the J.K. Rowling.
Trans rights are human rights.
Yep.
She's a terrible turf. Uses her money to actively attack people, you know, through policy.
Yeah.
No, that was just a factual statement of what I couldn't remember. It was one of those 3 movies, and I could not remember which one.
As I was sitting here listening to you, I was like, I want to make sure that people understand that, like, we're talking about this like as like a pastime kind of thing, and like, just moving forward, just so y'all know, just piece of information about Alex and I, so you guys know where we stand. I think my first play. I have 2, because I'm trying to remember. I definitely went and saw. Well, I'm trying to decide between like what I remember. Was it a play or was it a movie? So this could change my movie answer depending. But I vividly remember going to see some kind of Rugrats movie or play when I was younger.
Okay. The Rugrats movie, when did that come out? I remember that was a banger.
Oh, yeah. This is so good.
Rugrats movie came out 1998. So maybe.
Yeah. It could have been that. So it was one of the two. It was either a movie or play. But my definitive answer of like knowing for sure that this was a play was when I was in high school.
Okay.
I took drama I did drama all 4 years. Mm-hmm. And one of the things was like we had to go to a play, like critique it, do all like this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And me and my mom went to go see Aladdin. At like a children's theater back in South Carolina.
Sure.
And I remember like
Was it like Disney's Aladdin, or was it like a pantomime retelling of the Aladdin story?
Pretty sure it was like Disney's Aladdin. Like it was a straight up like there was like it was all the same. And I remember loving it, and I remember like wanting to like go see more shows. And I think some of it might have just been the fact that it was like me and my mom had a lot of fun together, and it was because I was like 16 at the time, probably, or maybe 15. So like it was just like a lot of fun because me and my mom went to go do it. We went to go see it, and then we went to go do lunch and everything. It just was like ended up being like a really good day. So that was definitely like first theater moment. On that too, I want to skip to concert. What was your first ever concert?
Okay. So I, growing up, listened to a lot of heavy metal music. And
Really?
I think my first concert was Lamb of God. And it was Lamb of God, and then Job for a Cowboy and Gwar were opening for them. And anybody who listens to the heavy metal music knows how fucking insane that lineup is. And yeah, I went when I was 14, I think.
Really?
I went with my brother. Yeah. And then that was also when I had my first beer. I had like a Budweiser. And I felt so badass.
Oh, hell yeah. Listening to like heavy metal, drinking a beer. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't listen to heavy metal, so I don't know any of those people. But I can't imagine a 14-year-old drinking a beer listening to a freaking heavy metal band, which sounds funny.
Yeah. What was yours?
Hanson.
Hanson.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Good old Bop kids. Like I said, I have older siblings. Who we have like a pretty big gap between all of us. So between me and my sister, that's like next to age, there's 8 years between us.
Oh wow.
Then it only gets bigger, yeah. And then there's 10 years and 12 between me and my brother. And so my sister really grew up with like Hanson. So like me spending just a lot of time with her as a kid, I just grew up knowing who they were and listening all the time. And so I was probably anywhere from 13 to 14, I'm thinking. Yeah, she took me. And then after that, I think I have seen them 10 times. Ironically, like just last year, last October, I think it was, my sister came to my city that I live in now and brought like my nephew, and we got to go see them again with my nephew, which was really cool. So that was like a full circle moment. And then me and my sister got to go again because they're here for 2 nights. We got to go again, just me and her. And that was really fun, from like being like 14-year-old first time going. We've been together a lot. I've been on my own with other friends to now like 20, at the time 29, getting to go with her, which was really cool.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. For the sake of time, we'll have to stop there.
Sure.
We could do a lot of first. I love this. I think it's a lot of fun. I do have a very quick little quiz for Alex that I made on first. Okay. I have a good handful of these, so I'm gonna pick a few probably. And I try to tailor these for you, just so you know. Okay, so I spent some time like thinking about this.
I'm ready.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the first weapon you get in BioShock?
The crowbar, not crowbar. The wrench.
Ding. Ooh, here's a good one. This one was kind of tricky. Okay, because even when I was Googling it, I was like, is this right? What's the first ever Pokemon?
Okay, so a lot of people are going to say it's Pikachu, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Clefairy.
No. Design-wise, it was
Jigglypuff? Raichu? Rhyhorn? Really?
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yep, that one.
Okay. Because Clefairy was going to be the mascot, and then they switched it out for Pikachu because it looked cuter. But
actually, I'm gonna rattle off all of these just quickly. Is what I'm gonna do. Sure. What is the first evolution stone to appear?
Moonstone.
Yes. What? Okay, ready? We're gonna switch up a little bit. What's the name of the first ever Star Wars movie?
A New Hope.
Ding. I need a fucking bell or something. What is the first 3D Mario game ever released?
Mario 64.
Yeah. Oh, this one got me. I saw it and I was like, oh, this is a good one. What is the first playable character? Oh, you haven't played. You might not actually know this. Never mind.
Try me.
Oh, fuck. What's
Try
the first
me.
playable character you control in The Last of Us?
Oh, it's not Joel, is it his girlfriend from the first season?
It's his daughter.
His daughter?
Cool. It just now clicked. I was like, oh, that's right. You haven't played yet. Okay, no. That's okay. That's okay.
Because we were gonna trade, first
I know.
games.
We need to
our
do
favorite
that.
Games.
Yeah.
We will.
In Metroid, what's the first power up you obtain?
Morph ball.
Ooh. Okay, we got 2 more. Who is the first party member to join you in Dragon Quest? It's whatever one you and Pat are playing. 11?
Dragon Quest 11? Yeah.
Yeah, 11.
Is it Serena?
Nope.
Oh, is it his friend with the blue hair? I can't remember his name.
Eric.
Okay.
All right,
Eric.
last one. Oh, just kidding. Oh, I had that. Oh, that was the same one. Just kidding. Never mind. I had the BioShock question twice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I will have some firsts for you. The next time we talk about firsts. I got in from New York.
It's okay.
At like 1 a.m.
Hey, 1 first. Haha. Anyways.
Wow. Incredible.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We always appreciate you guys. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, really anywhere you listen to your podcast. I think we're basically we're listed at this point. Look us up on YouTube. Most of the time, the videos that we take while we're doing this is on there as well, so you can watch. It is listed differently. I've had people ask me before. They're like, I can't watch it. It's because it's going to be 2 different things. So there's the podcast side of YouTube. So if you're listening, yes, you're just listening. You'll have to go to our page and click on videos to find this where you can watch it, just to clear up some of the confusion on that. Because I've had people ask, why can't I see you guys?
Sure.
It is 2 different things. Follow us on Instagram. We're the Still Loading Pod, I think, with Alex and Lizzy, because there is another Still Loading podcast, not to get us confused with like the 2 or 3 other ones.
There's several more.
Yeah.
If there was just one more, I'd feel bad about having the same name.
Yeah.
But there's like 5.
Yeah, but we're with Lizzy and Alex, so
yeah.
Follow us on Instagram. I'm gonna try to get better about posting some of our cool stuff.
We're equally irrelevant, the 2 of us.
Equally irrelevant. And then yeah, that's really it. We don't really do any other social media besides Instagram, guys, just so you know. So yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys for listening. Tell us about y'all's famous firsts. If you answer any of these questions or you have any other cool ones, let us know, and we'll talk to you guys next time.